Daniel and Nate.
Nathan and Daniel. Daniel Cho and Nathan Bokers.
Nate and Daniel.
Nathan, Daniel Cho. Daniel and Nate.
This is what I was missing. I was missing the laser focus that they give you, the support they give you, and the push and the drive that makes you wake up every single day and get excited to actually work on your business.
It's a great environment. They give us weekly training. They're available on the Telegram app. They're available in the DMs. I always get great advice from them.
Everything about them really helps you gain the knowledge you need to make money with affiliate marketing. And not only that, help you mentally change your focus, change your mindset so that you can become the best affiliate marketer out there.
I've seen quite a bit in the marketplace, but I'll tell you right now, craziest thing that I've never seen before is the support that you get. These guys really over deliver. I mean, I finally feel that I have some strategies and tips, some concrete things that I can do that are going to move me forward in my affiliate marketing business.
I finally feel like I have some clarity and I have a plan in place for what I'm going to do in the next few months. I'm excited for it, and I just wanted to thank you for sharing all of your strategies.
It was jam-packed with nuggets for marketers of all levels, from Facebook profile training to social media marketing. No stone was left unturned.
I'm trying to get this video done without breaking down. It's one of the best things that I've ever done in my entire life, and I owe it to you guys. You guys are the best. I can't wait to see what else you guys come up with. I'll be the first customer online.
Boom! Good day, everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know why it's so dark in my place. It's weird. But anyways, good morning, guys. Welcome to Rise with the Wealth Warriors once again. We have a special guest on today. So go grab your tissues, grab your coffee, because she's going to be an emotional live today. We're bringing on a student who's been with us for quite a bit. He's dealt with some battles. He's dealt with some struggles, but this man is a superhero, guys. If you guys are watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. Guys, do you want give us a huge round of applause and let us welcome in Bill? Good morning, brother. How's it going today?
Good morning, gentlemen. Doing well. Getting better every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, thank you for joining us today on the Rise with the Wealth Warriors. It's a good one. So, quick question: Who is Bill, and where did Bill come from? What's your past, and what did you do? What do you do for work?
Well, I did my little hitch in the military, got out, and started driving tractor trailers, and did that. I am 100,000 miles shy of my 4 million mile mark, accident free.
Oh, wow.
We hit little issue. I was driving up until about 5 years ago, and my lovely wife said, well, you missed your girls growing up. Now you're not going to miss your grandchildren growing up. So get a desk or get a lawyer. She was serious. So I've been in the chemical industry over 30 years, hauling them around everywhere, supplied all the chemicals to the paper mills up and down the West Coast and all throughout Canada. Been up to your place quite a bit, Nate. Even made a few ventures out to Yellowknife. So following my wife's suggestion, I got a job, went in as a chemical fleet manager. A year later, I got home from work. We had dinner, played with the dogs, watched some TV, went to bed, woke up the next morning paralyzed.
Oh, no.
From the neck down. They rushed me to the hospital. That was in the end of May of 23. Come to find out that I had a bloodborne pathogen, that bacteria pathogen that turned septic. So I was a 32-hour fight for my life on that one. Had excellent team of doctors. You'd think I was the president or something because I had 18 doctors trying to save my life. I heard the one doctor out in the hall tell my wife that it was a good thing she got me in there when she did, because if she'd been 2 hours later, she wouldn't be visiting me in the hospital. She'd be burying me in the cemetery. That's how
Oh,
close
wow.
I came to dying. So I did 6 weeks in the hospital with infusions 3 times a day. They actually, ironically, talk about freedom, released me from the hospital on July 4th. And I got to go home on July 4th. So for the next 6 weeks, my wife did the infusions 3 times a day, 6, 2, and 10, 6 in the morning, 2, and then 10. Still paralyzed. She rented a hospital bed that we set up in our living room. I had the physical therapist come in to teach me how to walk again. Once that was over, still in a wheelchair, still learning how to walk, I got hit again, this time with organ cancer.
Damn.
So it's like, where did this come from? So I went through the radiation and chemo and all of that from August to October.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
Sorry about that. Keep
That's
going.
August to October. Yeah. Keep going.
That's okay. I know when I'm not wanted. So in October, they said, hey, you're okay. You're cancer free. They said that it could come back because of the type of cancer it was. It could come back in as little as 5 years up to 10 years. And I'm thinking, great, fantastic. So then I set to come out here to the East Coast to where I'm at now to help my mother. Had that set for February. So I get out here in February. I get called to do a blood test. I went up to the hospital to do the blood test. And they said, okay, we're sending you to the hospital up in Philadelphia. All right, that's fine. They did what they call a PMSA PET scan on me. And they came in and the doctor said, well, I've got some not so good news for you. And I was like, oh, terrific. What are you throwing at me now? And he goes, well, how do you want it? He says, I can, break it down. I said, look, I'm a straight shooter. Just give it to me. He goes, okay. In as little as 9 days, no more than 9 weeks. If you do nothing, you will be 100% paralyzed. And within 4 months, you'll no longer be with us. And I was like,
Damn.
what does that mean? He says, you have stage 4 metastatic bone cancer in your spine and also on your left rib cage that has entered your lung. I was like, terrific.
And that was during in the middle of you just trying to build your online business, right?
Yeah. In November, while I was I couldn't just lay there and do nothing. I could not lay there and do nothing. So I asked my wife to, give me my laptop, and I started scrolling online stuff. I found your guys' mentor and went in with him. I started out with his little profit machine and, did pretty good on that. And then I kept seeing you pop up and he kept talking about you and he kept talking about Wealth Warriors. And if you remember, Daniel, I reached out to you and I started with Wealth Warriors. Geez, what was that? February, March, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was shortly after that that I got hit with that metastatic bone cancer.
Yep.
They set me up for surgery on April 29th. And it's hard, so give me a minute. They operated April 29th. That was 7 days after he told me I had 9 days to 9 weeks. Went into the hospital, and they sliced open my back, separated the vertebrae,
Mm-hmm.
and they went in and they found a very oblong tumor with little tendrils wrapped around my spinal cord. And they took them out, and then I find out that I got pneumonia, which was not a good thing to hear. Apparently, I had that from the last time, not this time. I get out of surgery, and I wake up, I look at the clock, and it's like, oh, 2:30 in the afternoon. That's not too bad. Go into surgery at 10 in the morning, wake up at 2:30 in the afternoon. I hurt like hell, but that's okay. The nurse came over, and she says, excuse me, what did you say? I said, go into surgery at 10:30, wake up at 10 o'clock and wake up at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's not too bad. She says, Mr. Tiemann, it's Wednesday. I went, what? She said, it's Wednesday. I slept for 2.5 days.
Oh, wow.
I was out cold.
Wow.
And my wife told me that the reason they did that is because when they brought me out of surgery, which, by the way, went in at 10, actually came out of surgery 9:30 at night that night. She said that the doctors told her they could not give me any pain medication because my blood pressure was too low and my oxygen level was too low. It was too dangerous. It would kill me.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's why my brain put me to sleep for 2.5 days. And, almost dying the first time, I'm thinking of the family, thinking, I'm the father of 4 girls, 11 grandchildren.
Wow.
I'm thinking about my daughters, thinking about my grandchildren. And the whole time it's like, I can't do this. I gotta be here for them. I've got to fight them. And tell you the truth, I was making a good living. We were 6 figures a year coming in on my job, but it was just as stressful to my wife because when I was driving a truck, I was on the road 8 to 12 weeks at a time. I would come home for 4 days, and then I was out again for 8 to 12 weeks. So I missed my kids growing up. Go in office as a fleet manager, and my schedule was 5 in the morning to 6 at night, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Because what my schedule was 12 days on, 2 days off, 12 days on, 2 days off. And in the middle of all that, and learning from you and Nathan, I decided that, I'm a survivor no matter what. And I'm going to survive. So I kicked in high gear. I started in with the Wealth Warriors, and then you two threw me a curveball with Pop, and it's like, I got to do it. I can't help it. I got to do it. And my wife goes, "How are we going to do it?" I don't care. I don't care. She goes, "Honey, you haven't worked since May of 23." I said, "We got credit cards." And that's kind of what we were living on. And so I got into Pop. And then I was kind of working from home a little bit. And I just decided one day, that's it. And Nate, I think I told you, I quit my job. I can't do it. So for me, it was this 100% or not at all. And I couldn't split my time anymore. And you guys have been the absolute best. The coaches have been wonderful. The community has been wonderful. The support from this community has been absolutely fantastic. I get messages and emails, "Don't give up, don't fight. We got your back. I'm here." Daniel, you and Nathan repeatedly, "I got your back. You got this. You can beat it." Well, it was 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I finally got the phone call that I am 100% cancer free. So backing of you
Congratulations. Yes.
and this community pushing me and my family support, I beat it. I said I was going to beat it, and I beat it. The only thing that still got me, and I'm hoping, and by the grace of God, it'll come back, is my voice, because I go from a nice baritone voice to a scratchy old man. But I'm alive.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I still remember, right? That was before you went into the surgery, and your mindset is always positive. Okay, that inspired not just me, Nate, and also a lot of people inside the community. I remember you just drop a post and let us know that, "Wish me luck. I'm going to surgery, and you guys probably will see me again. Probably won't. Okay, let's find out." Then you just went into the surgery, and then you disappear for I don't know how long, probably 2 weeks, right? And me and Nate and also coaches are asking each other, "Where's Bill? Where's Bill?"
Yeah. We're worried, man. Yeah. We're worried about you, that's for sure. But yeah, like I remember when you first joined, man, your energy and your positivity, it was just, a lot of people who go through what you've been through in life aren't as positive as you are.
No.
Right? And that's what inspires me and Daniel, right? It's your positivity just going at life is just, it's a whole nother level, right? So that's why, like, me and Daniel, we know what you're capable of, because if you can beat cancer, you can beat anything, man. You're a freaking superhero, straight up. Right? Like, for you to be able to not only battle cancer once, twice, but 3 freaking times, man, that's insane. Because, like, I wanted to bring you on here because, like, everybody on the planet, it doesn't matter who you are, they've had to deal with some type of cancer in their family, whether it's friends, family members, right? Everybody knows somebody who's battling with cancer, right? And for you, like for me, my grandmother, she had breast cancer herself. My grandpa, he had colon cancer, right? It runs very rampant in my family as well, right? My grandma beat it 25 years ago. Unfortunately, like my Aunt Linda, she passed away after beating cancer for 25 years. She passed away, I think it was like 9 years ago, right? But she beat cancer and she lived another 25 years, right? And for you to come on this live and just announce, "Hey, you're 100% cancer free, man," that to me is more inspiring than anybody we've brought in on this live, straight up.
Oh,
Because
absolutely,
The
absolutely.
main thing, the absolute main thing, Daniel and Nathan, was a lot of people that I met when I was going through the radiation and the chemo and stuff. They were very depressed, and I asked a couple. I said, "Why?" And they looked at me, going, "You got the same thing we got. What do you mean, why?" I said, "You need to find something to focus on. You need a target at the end." Because when I first found out, organ cancer, that just rips through your body. And, I had nice thick hair. Now it's like fine baby hair.
it's okay, Bill. Right there with you.
But you still got color. No, I had, I was telling him, I said, you can't just be depressed. You can't give up. I said, you got to find something to focus on. I mean, even during the chemo things, I asked them, did they have a little tray table or whatever? I'm sitting there on my laptop working on this, doing the worksheets, doing the homework. I'm not thinking about they're pumping poison through my body. I'm thinking, okay, this stuff is going to take care of the invader, which that was the other thing I told the doctors. I said, you got to do the surgery. He goes, why? I said, there's not enough room in this body for me. There's not. I said, so I sure don't have any room for squatters. I said, you got to evict them. And the doctor said, you keep up that mindset, you'll be just fine. I said, I got a community you wouldn't believe. Don't worry about my mindset. And so I just kept going and going, and I'm still going. And I'll tell anybody that's got cancer or anything, don't give up. Don't give up. You're stronger than any invader that comes into your body. And I honestly believe it's when somebody just when it says, I guess that's it, and they throw in the towel. They don't have a target at the end. And if it ever comes back again, I'll do the same thing, because I'm in this community for the long haul. No pun intended.
So
I mean-
I gotta ask a question, right? Like, with what was going through your head when you decided that you needed to quit your job, right? You needed to find something to replace your income, right? What was it that went through your head to decide to hop online and learn digital and affiliate marketing? What was that inspired you to take on that extra challenge, even with the massive challenges going on in your life at the time?
Well, like I said, I miss my daughters growing up, and
I know how that is.
a lot, yeah, I bet you do. Hauling logs. I missed my daughters growing up. My wife told me I wasn't going to miss, the grandkids growing up. And I wasn't kidding when she said, you've got two choices: get a desk or get a lawyer. I kind of laughed at her. I said, yeah, I know. She handed me an attorney's card. I went, oh, you're serious? She said, yeah. So, like I said, I got the desk job, but the hours were just as bad. 12 days on, 2 days off. How do you go anywhere to see your grandkids? Then I got hit with all of this. And finally, to get to your point, Nate, what's going through my mind is, my wife was right. I've missed out on life. I was looking at the world through a windshield, and the only thing I was seeing was interstate and truck stops.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, it's got to end. And at some point, I've got to pull the plug and put it in a different receptacle. And I didn't even tell my wife I quit my job until after I did it.
Mhm.
And she looked at me and she said, "It's about time." I thought she was going to get upset. She
I
said-
love that. I love that she supports you.
Yeah, well, she said that I am more focused on this, on my online business, than I've ever been, even driving. And in the early days, she went on me with a few trips and everything before the kids, but she said, "This is just you're built for it. You're part of it." And she said, "So I'm glad you quit your job." She said, "Now go to work."
That's so awesome, man. Yeah.
Bill, I gotta ask, right? Because me and you we were both at the same industry, right? I was your off-highway log truck driver. I've been coast to coast in Canada myself. My very first year was hauling logs from Vancouver Island all the way over to Newfoundland, right? From West Coast to East Coast, right? And I did that my first year, right?
Yeah.
What would you tell those people who are looking at getting into the trucking industry, right? What would you tell those type of people who are getting not only in the trucking industry, but getting into a career? What would you tell them? What would you tell them so they could finally open their eyes and realize, right, that life passes you by, right? Life passes you by. Me and you, like you said, you missed your kids' lives growing up. Me too. I missed my daughter, the first 6 years of her life. I missed a bunch of firsts. I missed her first days of school, right? I missed a lot of her concerts at school and stuff like that, right? What would you tell those people who work those grueling 12, 15, 16 hours a day? What is it that you tell them to really open their eyes and realize that, hey, there's more to life than a job? I know a lot of people need a job to survive, but what is more important to you now that you're your age you are now, right? We're both well advanced, right? We both have gone through life, right? What would you tell those people? Because you've lived life, right? You're a superhero. You've gone through a lot of stuff. As somebody who's been experienced and who has that experience, what would you tell them to open their eyes and realize that family's more important? Say somebody came up to you and asked you about your life experience, right?
Yeah. I spent decades away from my family, making somebody else very wealthy. I come up and I look around and just think, come home one day and all of a sudden your oldest daughter saying, "Hey, Dad, can you be home in 2 weeks? I'm getting married." I went, huh? It's like, you were just learning how to talk a week ago. Now you're getting married. What happened? A little exaggerated, but that's how fast time went by. That's how quickly I missed life. It literally just flew by. I drove right through it. I like now, when I first started, I was putting in 8, 9, 10 hours a day with this by choice.
Mm-hmm.
You and Daniel both said, you don't have to, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, 3 or 4 hours, get your sea legs or whatever you need under you. But I put in hours, but when I was done, my family's right there. I'm not crawling in a sleeper. I'm not, worrying about electronic logbooks, which it's a whole new story in itself.
Freaking hate electronic log.
I mean, I'm an old graybeard trucker. I come from the days when you ran 3 logbooks and hoped you didn't get caught.
Yeah,
And
my older brother taught me the double logbook trick. He's a truck driver too.
And for people out there that want to know just how long I've been doing this, Nate, you should know what this is. My first truck I drove was in the logging industry, and it was a chain drive Mack.
Oh wow!
I was pulling felled trees, felled timber with giant grappling hooks with a chain drive Mack. It's a little 3-speed Mack.
Oh, I've seen them.
So, yeah, now they're little rust piles of museum art or
They're
something.
very obsolete now.
But think very serious about what you're making now. Think about, are you going to be able to beat out the next person for this raise? Are you, going to be able to put in for that vacation time and get a yes or no? Somebody's already put in for it. I don't have that anymore. And what I look at now is I can actually set my own limits. The big thing with you two out there and Nate whipping out on the heat when he went out to visit Daniel. You guys making money while you were sitting in restaurants. Nathan was learning how to use chopsticks. Daniel's showing you the sights, and you're still raking in thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that got me was, Daniel, your story of what happened to you was inspiring, but I super related to Nate as another driver.
Absolutely.
Anybody, and I don't care what your industry is or what industry you're in, you got a job, you got a career. Well, a job is an acronym, and it stands for just over broke. And that registered in my head when I thought about it's time to quit. And something else that happened between my surgery and quitting my job is my mother passed away. So, which
Yeah, sorry to hear about that.
Sorry.
So I came out here to help her and got to spend the last 3 months of her life with her. But there again, all those years, I'm on the road. Again, missed the family. I was blessed to get the last 3 months of my mother's life with her. If you're going to do something, and you're going to do something for yourself, if you're going to do something for your family, whether it's Wealth Warriors and Pop or some other online venture, do it. don't continue making somebody else wealthy. You can match and even beat your income. You can have more free time with your children, with your family. You don't have to work as hard. You're already using your brain at work. So use your brain for yourself.
Yeah.
I almost missed it all till I came across you folks. And on behalf of myself, my family, and especially my grandchildren, I want to thank you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I mean, we are honored to have you. I mean, because not everybody we encounter can have the mindset that you have, right? So thank you for
I wish
inspiring
all
us.
of our
Yeah.
students had your freaking mindset, man. I'm gonna be straight
thank
up honest. Everybody that joins our program or any program online, I wish they had your freaking mindset because they'd be unstoppable. Straight up.
You can't give up. You set your mind to something and you do it. Put yourself on a railroad track. You know, you're a train engine and you're going down that track. There's going to be distractions, but that's the crossbars going down and the little cars on the side, but just keep focused and keep going. It does not happen overnight. Believe me, if anybody knows that, it's me. It does not happen overnight.
What I can see from you, right? I think that's the quality from, I would say, from all the winners in different field I've ever encountered, right? Is that you already decided, okay? You decided to win. Because I can tell everybody, Bill is not he doesn't move fast, right? And also there are so many challenges happening in his life. So it's hard, right? To take care of business and also take care of health and personal life. But he never quit. He is consistent, right? And I think the part of it has to do with your mindset, right? And that's how you were able to beat cancer and how you still able to stay in the game, building your business. Because most people will quit. I'm telling you, okay. And people will get frustrated. Just one video they put out don't go viral today, they will be frustrated already. But you still keep pushing. Yeah, that's how you win. I super admire that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, anybody that hits that point that they get up or they get frustrated, that's fine. You get frustrated no matter what you do. You get frustrated at your job. You get frustrated at issues at home. You know, you don't get frustrated with the kids or, you know, the husband or the wife and it didn't go right. So you just walk out. It's not like Kmart where you return it and start over. And I'll admit it. I was one of those, chasing a shiny object syndrome. I can show you the credit card bills. I was, my wife and I talked about it. We did one venture with drop shipping and online store. And then all total up to this, we had spent $165,000 chasing shiny objects.
Oh, damn.
It didn't work. Nate, you said on one of your posts that if you don't stick with this and follow it through, you're going to start over on the next one. You're going to start over on the next one. You're going to start over on the next one. And it's just that when you're ready to give up, gentlemen, you're right. You might be one email. You might be one post. You might be one phone call away from hitting the big time.
Maybe one interview. Maybe one interview. Who knows?
It's been very inspiring, just your story, man. Like, to you, for us, like, you're basically part of the family, right? So you're part of the Pop family, Wealth Warriors family, whatever you want to call it, right? You've been around with us for quite a few months now, and not only have we had your back, right, but like, I love the fact that you enjoy this. That's the other thing, right? That's the other thing. I've noticed that not only are you're all in on it, right, but you actually enjoy doing what you're doing, right? Compared to sitting at a truck stop thousands of miles away from your family, having to call them on your phone just to wish them good night, right? Having to deal with DOT and electronic logs and all that fun stuff, right?
And Candy Crush.
And Candy Crush. I remember playing that when I was doing Coast to Coast. But it's inspiring to see your enthusiasm, right? Not only your enthusiasm, but your willpower, right? Because, like, you've turned your heartaches, your hardships into reality, into profit, right? Like, you've turned your mindset from an employee mindset already to an entrepreneur mindset, and that alone was a lot of people struggle with that. That's probably one of the hardest things. Anybody who starts an online business, that's probably the biggest thing that they struggle with, is going from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. And it's tough. It took me a year to do it myself, right? So, like, it's not easy. What is it that made, I know that you wanted more time with your grandkids, right? But what's even deeper than that? Like, for you personally, what was it really for you wanting to be an entrepreneur over going back to a desk job or just retiring fully? Why didn't you retire, right, rather than start your online business? Was it because of money, or is it just because you need something to do?
No, it definitely at first was not because of money, because, like I said, we were in the mid six figures and we were doing well. Fortunately, we were not paycheck to paycheck. I had a nice savings and everything set up. Tech kind of disappeared a month or two ago. We went through it because my wife said, well, if you're going to do this full time, pay off the credit cards. And it's like, okay, that's going to drain the bank account. She goes, yeah, but you don't pay interest. Okay, you're right. So, we did that. But to your point, Nate, was I wanted to do something for me. I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. And I hung a little card sign up in front of my computer. And I started out, and then when I was getting ready to stop, I was like, okay, well, this is enough. And I'd look up at that card, and it was a note to myself. If I was the boss and I'm getting up now and sitting at the table's employee, would I pay me for what I've done? And it's like, okay, let's keep going. But it's, and I do, I still do it. I still do it to this day. If you were your own employee, would you pay yourself for the work you've done? You know what you're worth. Have you put in your worth amount of work for the day? And it doesn't have to be 12, 16 hours. It just has to be focused and consistent, even if it's just 2 or 3 hours a day.
That's powerful.
Yep.
And that's what I do. I put in my couple hours a day. And again, thanks for the ADD board. Oh my God, is that a lifesaver?
Yeah, that sheet I've been using it lately myself too. So
Yeah. It's a lifesaver. So that was one of the other things that I have was as a kid I was put on Ritalin, which I walked around as a zombie, and I didn't like that. So I'll have all these things in my head. I'll have all these projects and all these little, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start that. And I'm going to do this. And then and I'll start that. And then instead of finishing it, I'll go over here and do this. And then I won't get that finished. And I go over there. And my wife goes, slow down. My brain doesn't slow down.
nope.
My brain does not slow down. And the biggest tip I got off of that was the daily mind dump. And as I do is I'll write everything down. So when I go to bed at night, I've got a clear mind. I got a stupid tablet and an ink pen on a nightstand next to the bed. If something pops in my mind and it wakes me up at night, which happens, I write it down and go back to sleep. I did this for me. Who's going to benefit? My family, my health. But I've always wanted to work for myself. We did that route with trucks. Wife and I own 5 trucks and 7 trailers.
Oh wow.
And it was like, yeah, no. The regulations, the loopholes, the taxes, the IFTA stickers, and all, and just no. So I told my guys, I said, look, I'll cut you a special deal. Any of you that want to be an owner operator, I'll get you the loans. You take over your equipment and you just take over the payments. So some of them only had 6 payments to go. Some of them had, 12. But when we decided, it was, I think the longest one was 14 months. I told them, you take it. You take over the payments. And they all jumped on it. Poor saps. It's the best decision I made. Like I said, this is something for me. And I know there's a lot of people, because I've talked to people. There's a lot of people out there that, oh, I hate my boss, or I hate this, or I hate that, or, do something for yourself. I'm not smart enough.
Yeah, me either. Me either. Yeah.
Grade 10 high school dropout and got his GED in prison, right?
Yeah.
With an 8-year addiction on the streets. Yeah. I'm not very bright. I'm nobody special either, guys.
Yeah, neither am I.
Right. But that's the thing, right? Like for you, your story is so inspiring, especially like to me, like we have a good background. We're both ex-truck drivers, right? We know what it's like being away from family for your days, weeks on end, right? I've got lots of family who does oil patch, who does camp work, right? They're gone for 14, 15 hours 14, 15 days a week, a month, right? What was the hardest thing besides being away from your family? What was the hardest thing for your career, for you, like personally, emotionally, and personally? What was the hardest thing for you to have to? Because we were all raised. I know you come from the same kind of background, same era. We were all raised. Go to school, pick a career and work your life away for 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we were trained. I was trained that. That's what my dad said. Hey, find a good job, finish school. I never did, right? But what was it? What was it that you feel was, let me word this right. I don't want to offend anybody. What would you find that was more powerful? Oh, let me word this right. If you could, if you could turn back time, this is a good one. If you could turn back time right now to the 25-year-old self of you, what would you tell yourself back then with knowing what you know today? What would you tell yourself to whatever you needed to tell yourself to finally get back that family time?
Oh, going back that far?
I know it's far, but still.
Yeah, well, yeah, because going back that far, I would have told myself to go ahead and learn the market, invest in Oracle, invest in Microsoft. Apple wasn't around yet. Computers weren't around yet. Cell phones weren't around yet. I was calling my dispatcher with MCI Talk and Toss. Knowing what I know now back then, I would have definitely told myself, work for yourself. Work for yourself. Work for your family. If you're single and you think I got time, no, you don't. No, you don't. Do it now. You're going to go out and easily over the next 4 or 5 years blow a couple of grand on pizzas and beer and parties and nightclubs. Spend that money now on yourself. Anchor your life now. Then when you're making that kind of money, go ahead and have your parties if you want to, but I tell you, you're not going to want to because you're going to have too much fun doing this. I don't know who came up with pop, but that just nailed a bullseye because I'm extremely passionate about what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always prided myself on trying to become the best of the best. Didn't always make it, but I've done it. My goal was to get my first 1,000,000-mile plaque, accident free. I got the first one. Then I got the second one. Then I got the third one. I was pushing for the fourth one. Like I said, I am just slightly over 100,000 miles shy of my 4,000,000-mile plaque. And I said, well, I've done 3. 100,000 miles, you can do that in a couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever. But no, now's the time for me. I waited too long. And I don't say I waited too long because I'm about to die because I already beat that little bugger. I waited too long because I missed my children growing up. I missed the traveling I wanted to do. And if you think driving a truck, you get to see the world. Yeah, through a windshield on an interstate in bumper to bumper traffic in different cities. You got the government breathing down your back no matter what you do.
There's no time to sightsee. If those
There is
wheels
no
aren't
time to
turning, you ain't making money.
I used to tell people I don't get paid until I hook that hose up and open the valve. Because it's the delivery that gets me paid, not the route to and from. You break down, you're not getting paid. That load's still sitting on the trailer. You can be broke down week, 2, 3 weeks. Believe me, I know.
Yep, me too.
You're not getting paid. Guess what? What I'm doing now, what you're doing. Your computer breaks down. Well, geez, got to go to the Apple store. Hour later, you're back up and running.
Mhm.
And I'm not, Nate, I'm like you. I am not a techie person.
Nope.
Matter of fact, I did a video. I did a short video. My grandkids laughed because it was like, Pop-Pop's doing online work. He can't even use his cell phone. But it's not that hard. With your instructions, with your support, with the community support, you ask questions, you get answers.
Boom. I have a question for you, Bill. Okay, I mean, what would be your, because you've been through a lot, right? And you also was very successful in different fields. So let me ask you for an advice. Okay, what would you say to people like in the middle age, like myself, right? In late 30s, early 40s, have a young family, but have a steady job, but in the meantime live under debt. Okay, because I got sued by a credit card company, right? Despite I worked super hard as a vehicle parts delivery guy, right? So what would you say to those people who have a young family to raise but still living paycheck to paycheck, and the 9 to 5 salary is never enough to catch up with the bills? What should they do? Because they are struggling right now. How can they find a way out? What would be your advice?
Believe me when I tell you that I'd go with Pop. I'd definitely go with you, gentlemen. There's a lot of people out there, and as you can see in my background, and it is a real background. You know, I'm not rich yet. Through this venture, I'll make it. But like I said, my wife and I spent $160,000, 67,000, I think it was, 167,000 on chasing shiny objects, from drop shipping to oils, MLMs. I did do one with a telecommunications company. It's like, hey, this is great. I was their youngest executive director ever, and I was doing that while I was driving.
Nice.
And that was easy because that's back when they were selling minutes for different prices. I hooked up with a company, and out there with truck drivers and truck stops, oh, what do you cost to do that? Here, have this. Here, buy that. Here, try this. And they all jumped. I did good till that company got sued and went under. So it's like, all right, I know this stuff works. So my wife and I went down and we found a lot of gurus. Now, in all fairness, and this is not an insult, I do not look at Daniel and Nathan. I do not look at you two as gurus.
Good.
We are not.
We're
Ordinary
not.
dad,
We're just
yeah.
ordinary dads, man.
I do
We
not.
ain't driving Lambos. We're not sitting on yachts. We're real people.
Well, that's just it. That was the one thing that impressed me because, you know, I chased the shiny objects, and I seen a guy. Oh, this is my jet, and this is my Lamborghini, and hey, check out my new Maserati, or they rent a studio space that looks like a mansion to film a infomercial or something. It's like, no, you guys are down in the trenches every day. You're reachable.
Yep.
Your coaches are reachable. The community is reachable. This is the real deal. And nothing against your mentor. Even though I started with him, he wasn't reachable. And that's what I needed because, I'm not the brightest penny in the bank. So I have questions. I get stuck.
Like we all do.
I get stuck a lot. And it's like, hey, I need to do something. So if you're working, family, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you got a little bit extra to jump on pop, do it. Do it. These folks here from the community, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I guess it's easier to ask forgiveness and get permission. Kai has impressed me, and I listen on all of the coaching calls. And that's another thing. If you get into this, don't get into it and just look at it and follow a couple of steps and go, yeah, I don't know about this. Get on the coaching calls. Ask questions. And Daniel and Nathan will tell anybody that's listening to this right now, they probably sometimes want to turn me off because of the amount of questions I ask. But the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask.
Exactly.
So if you're struggling, family, look hard, look deep into this. Don't chase gurus, don't chase shiny objects, and do not fall for this 100% on automatic and you do nothing at all except push a couple of buttons and you'll have money into your account in a couple hours or overnight or whatever that is. Because if you get into that, I know I did it. They sell you this. And then, well, to get that, you need this. And even though they're like little $9, $27, $30, $17, $19, and you're thinking, well, that's not much. Before you know it, you've just spent $6,000 and you're still buying stuff. And you have no return on your investment. Don't do that. Don't do that. Research wealth warriors.
Bill, I got a question. Since you've started in the online space, digital marketing stuff, what has been your biggest learning curve? What has been your biggest challenge besides your personal health, right? What has been your biggest challenge in the online space?
Oh, that's a good one.
knowing where to start. Like you said, don't just go out there and run ads, which by the way, I don't run ads. Don't go out there and run ads and hope to get something, because people don't buy products, people buy people. People buy people. And the hardest learning curve for me was, where do you start? How do you tell people who you are? What, do you start at the end? Do you start at the beginning? I've had a couple of DMs that go on, if you're so real, show me your income. And my response is, I'm not a guru. I'm not going to show you anything. If you have questions, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer. And it's just knowing where to start. That's the biggest learning curve. And to be honest, this segment today, I was up all night long.
Oh no.
Like, what am I going to say? What are they going to ask me? What? And I got Nathan going, just relax, be yourself.
Yeah, you beat cancer. Nothing can scare you now. I mean,
yeah, except a whole world of people that can watch you, and it's like, but I decided to take Nate's advice. I just said, I'm just gonna go out in a little sun porch and I'm gonna sit down and relax.
Yeah, that's what makes your interview becomes powerful, right? And thanks everybody for supporting us and Bill in the comment section, right? I mean, that's how you do it. Just be yourself, right? But a lot of people, they take some time, okay, to get
Try
to
to
that point.
fake it till they
myself.
make it. A lot of people try to fake it till they make it, which is the wrong thing to do, right? Being yourself and being authentic in this space, especially in 2024, people can see through the bullshit straight up, right? And that's why a lot of people, especially these new people and stuff in the online space, that a lot of people are skeptical because there's so much bull crap out there in the online world right now. And a lot of people just don't take it as serious as they should, right? Because to me, 4 years ago, I was still driving truck off highway, 50K in debt. I wasn't seeing my family either, right? I wasn't seeing my family. I was literally coming home at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, cold dinner in the microwave. My kids were already in bed. And that was my life. It was the same thing over and over and over again, right? When I found the online space, it was truly, truly motivational to me, seeing other people succeed in the online world. I was very skeptical, right? I was very skeptical. I know a lot of people were, right? But what's one of the biggest things that you've taken, what's one of the biggest skill sets that you've taken since you've started your online space? What is it that made you go, aha, this is it, right? What is that skill set that you're going to take with you even for years down the road?
I don't know if you classify it as a skill set or not, but for me, I set a goal to learn something new every single day in this industry. Sometimes I learn 2 or 3 things, but I set it to do that and focus on one thing and stay with that. Like I said, not the shiny objects. I think my content creation has gotten much better. I've been doing those I kind of tiptoed in the early days, doing some lives. And I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And then I realized the first couple I did, there was nobody there. I was talking to dead air. I think the third time I went live, still nobody there. It was last month I got a DM. Hey, great content. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I had to pull it up and look at it. I was like, geez, that was back in February. So, and I was a total dummy doing that. I didn't know what to talk about. You know, it's like, well, I'm not going to do a sales pitch. I'm not going to sit there and tell the world I got cancer. I'm not going to tell them I'm a truck driver. Like I was just started babbling and, you know, hey, you know, I am a senior citizen with a great family, 4 girls, grandchildren, and just talked a little bit. And I think I went on for about 15, 20 minutes and got up. And then when I looked at it, I went, geez, what a moron. But I was more comfortable the second time I did it. I was more comfortable the third time I did it. As far as today, I thought back on, okay, I went live a couple of times and got a nice comment about it. Nathan says, relax. I think the biggest skill set for me is that I'll create and just continually improve on is videos and content.
That's beautiful. I mean, I still remember my very first live, right? That was before I met Nate. I didn't know what I should say. So my very first live, I was showing people how I cook Chinese noodle. So I don't need to say anything. I just show people how I cook. So I think that's a very powerful tip, okay? Because I remember back in old days, right? I went through funnel hacking live. Okay, I think that was the very first course I bought online. Okay, I had no clue what Russell Brunson and Steve Larsen they were talking about, but only one thing I took away from that is that become a producer instead of consumer. Right? If you don't know what to do, just create content, something, do it every single day for 1 year, then see what that will lead you to. Right? So that's how I started. Ever since then, every day, right? We produce something, whether that's a post, whether that's a video, right? That's how I got started. But at the beginning, I had no clue. All I know was I got to follow what successful people do. If they say you got to produce something every day, do that for 1 year, that's what I'm gonna do. Then I learned everything else along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much free digital real estate out there in the online space. It's insane. If you guys aren't building your digital real estate, you're missing out on tons of money and life-changing opportunities, right? It's literally how it goes.
Yeah, and this is definitely not a flooded space. What did I read the other day? There's 1.235 million brand new internet users a month.
Woo! Nice.
Every month.
That got me excited.
And there's 14 million and something. There's 14 million people every month turning 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is not a congested arena by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope. So Bill, I want to thank you for being on here, for coming on here, telling your story and stuff like that. What kind of advice would you give people who are on the fence with digital marketing and not just our program, but just on the fence, period? What would you tell those people who they're tired of working their jobs, right? They're tired of being away from their families all the time. I'm a blue collar dad, right? So is Daniel, right? So are you. You're blue collar dads, right? What would you tell those people who want that more family time? Whether I'm not talking about buying a course and stuff like that, but mindset wise, what would you tell those type of people who really just want to change in life? And like, how can they go from an employee mindset to an employer mindset? What would be that biggest advice that you could give them that make them go, okay, I need to realize like my life is passing me by. I'm missing my family time, right? I'm not getting the time I want with my family. I'm not even doing the things I want to do in life because of my job. What would you tell those type of people to flip their mindset from that employee to an employer?
The first thing I would do, and this is what I did personally, was I go, okay, I'm making X per hour. How much is my boss making per hour?
Yeah.
I'm making this much per year. How much is my boss making per year? And when I say my boss, I don't mean like immediate supervisor. I'm talking about the owner of the company. And I found out that the owner of my company was, we weren't only making him money. He owns an island.
Whoa.
He owns a jet leasing company. They own 5 jets that they lease out to businesses and stuff. And he is one of the biggest lessor finances, one of the biggest financiers for trucks in the United States. I mean, he leases to Schneider and Swift and all them. People think that those guys buy their trucks. No, they don't. They lease them. And I'm going, wait a minute. I'm out here making X per hour. And he's sitting home getting richer and richer and richer. I got to do this for myself. Now, am I going to go out and start a trucking company? No. So I'm like, what is it I can do? Because I've got really no business background. Having been a truck driver, Nate, you know, we're good with figures. So the online thing, people are making money. Regular people like you, like me, like Daniel, go into it, but don't make the same mistakes I made. An old saying my grandfather taught me, which didn't really hit me until I decided to get serious on online marketing, which now that I think of it, Nathan, that was a tipping block. He goes, a smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from everybody else's mistakes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit, and it's like, okay, if there's people out there that have quit their job, they're making money, they're doing it online. A lot of them in my shoes, they got the technical expertise as an ant. I'm going to work for myself. And I started it in a hospital bed. I started this in a hospital bed. Couple hours a day between infusions, sitting there going. Matter of fact, my wife asked me, she goes, honey, I want you around for a long, long time. She said, but right now you're fighting for your life. Why are you doing this? I said, you want me around for decades to come? You want me around for a long time? I got to focus on me. And me focuses on me is me finding something to focus on, which is internet marketing, whether it's MRR, affiliate marketing, MLMs, whatever you personally are comfortable with. Don't ever tell yourself, I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. You were smart enough to learn the job that you're doing now. You were smart enough to teach somebody below you something. You were smart enough to help others around you. So don't say you're not smart enough to get online. If you can sit there and scroll through TikTok and scroll through Facebook and, watch funny cat videos, I did that. Spend that time on yourself. Spend that time improving yourself. If you learn that, you can learn this. Once you learn this, there's no stopping you.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna take that out of the content, and next time when I encounter people say I cannot be successful because I'm too busy, I'm gonna send that back to them. Yeah, because you started your business all from hospital bed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Started from a hospital bed.
You're literally the consumption of willpower and preservation, and literally, like, Bill, your story has been absolutely inspiring today, and I hope people literally listen to this. We're gonna blast this out to our email list because I think everybody needs to hear your story and just be inspired by it, right? Whether they take action or not, they need to realize that life is it's too short. People think that they have all the time in the world, right?
No, they don't.
And really, our time is our most valuable asset. Once it's gone for good, right? I've said this multiple times on multiple lives, right? You can borrow money, you can find money, you can steal money, right? You can find money on the streets. I found a couple bucks in my washing machine the other day, right? But what you can't get back is your time. Once it's gone for good, right? And the only way to actually get more time is to start buying that time. And how do you buy that time? You take control of your life, right? You start investing in your own skills. You invest into assets, right? That eventually, it might not happen overnight, right? But as you build that skill set up, you're now buying time. You're able to put stuff, build an automated system, or you're able to invest in stocks and stuff like that, where those assets are finally paying you 247, right? Rather, you're having your money work for you rather than you work for money, right? And that's where the online space, and that's how becoming an entrepreneur, a real entrepreneur, looks in the online space. And anything, any entrepreneur, doesn't even have to be online. If you want your time back, you need to take control of your life. You need to take control of your time, because with a boss owns your time and your income, right? You're basically renting your life away to a boss, right? So they can have a better life while you struggle, right?
Yeah.
We're in a new era now where literally anybody, doesn't matter your age, your race, the color of your skin, the way you talk, right? If you got teeth or not, right? It doesn't matter. In this day and age, you can literally change your entire life around from nothing and turn it into something.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
All it takes is that willpower and that friggin' motivation and that mindset. And like you've got all three of those, man. And it's been totally inspiring just watching you. Like I said, like when you were in the hospital for those 2 weeks after your back surgery, right? After that back surgery you had, me and Daniel, like I messaged Daniel multiple times. Have you heard from Bill? Have you heard from Bill? Like, I'm kind of getting worried now, right? Like, we're actually concerned about you, right? Because like we care about our students, we care about you guys' success, right? Like your guys' success is our success. If you're not successful, we won't be successful, right? And that's the mindset that we go in helping our students, because every one of you guys that come into our program, right? We want you guys to be successful. We want you to turn your lives around, right? Is everybody going to put in as much effort and have the mindset that you have? No, unfortunately. I wish they did, right? But just having somebody like you in our community not only inspires me and Daniel, but inspires the whole community, right? You having that willpower, you having that drive pushes not only me and Daniel, but pushes our students as well, right? Like we're basically family in our community. Like our students really do mean a lot to us. Like you guys aren't just another number. You're not just a paycheck to me and Daniel. That's the big thing with our program, right? Is we actually want to see you guys succeed, right? And the thing is, like I've loved with you, anytime you come on a coaching call, you're always asking questions or you're just sitting back taking in other people's questions, right? But you show up. You show up, you're there. You put in the damn work like people should be, right?
Yeah, unless I'm at the doctor's.
It's been totally inspiring, right? So I just want to say thank you for coming on here. What are some last words you'd give to inspire those who have been watching this show or who are gonna watch this live, right? What would you say to those people to inspire them to take control of their lives?
First off, I'd say that take the step. I don't care what program you get, as long as you research it thoroughly. Research it so you know what you're getting into. And do not at a point, if you get to a point where, you know, this is not going to work, I'm going to give up. Reach out to me, talk to me. I mean, I'm not going to steal Daniel and Nathan's customers, but you know, most people when they're getting ready to give up, it's because they've lost confidence in themselves and their ability. So reach out to Daniel, reach out to Nate, reach out to one of the coaches, reach out to somebody in the community, reach out to me. Crap.
Yep. Reach, if you need some inspiration, motivation, reach out to Bill.
And that's a powerful one, right? Like,
just do it. Don't give up.
People are scared of change, and that's a big thing. Like that, people are scared to tackle something new, which I remind people, right? Like even me, I was scared to learn how to ride a bike, but after falling a few times, I was hitting jumps and doing backflips and stuff like that, right? It's everything we do new is scary. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Whether it's changing a car tire for the first time or whatever, right? Everything we do is scary. But if you put yourself out there and put the work in, right? It becomes a lot less scarier, right? Once you start actually putting your actions into place, right? And you focus on your focus. That's one thing I learned from a guru that I don't like is focus on your focus, right? It's literally one thing that's kept me beeline for the goals, right? People in this industry, a lot of people in this industry, they want to chase the new shiny object, right? Which whatever, right? I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it, right? I just want to say, like, for you to come in here, start this business on a hospital bed, right? Freaking beat cancer in the middle of it all, right? And still be sitting here today, right? With the mindset that you have, I wish everybody everybody could think like you. I literally do, because a lot more people would become way more successful in the online space if they had your determination.
I'll give them one little thing to think about, and write it down. Rewatch this, write it down. But here's what I'll tell you. Number one, take the leap, no matter what it is. Research it, take the leap. But write this down. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, either way, you're going to be right. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you. There's plenty of times to say, oh, I can't do this. I'd be right because I quit. I gave up. Or I say, I can do this. All right, now I got to figure out how I can do it.
That's right.
But
That's right.
I've been right. You look at Thomas Edison. What he failed 1,000 times making a light bulb. All right, he didn't fail. He just learned 1,000 ways not to make it.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I spent $167,000 chasing shiny objects. They didn't pay off. What did we learn? We learned what not to do. Then I landed here. And I looked at it and going, some of those other programs might have worked. I was my own worst enemy. I quit. I gave up. I saw something that promised something better. No, it didn't. So once again, if you say you can, or if you say you can't, either way, you're going to be right. It's a choice. Everything in this life is a choice. Mm-hmm. I chose to live. I chose to fight. And I chose this community. And Nathan, earlier you said I was part of the family. Well, I think of this entire community and you guys as family too. And that's sincere from the heart, brother. Sincere from the heart. You guys are family.
Yeah.
Well,
this is one of the interviews I'm gonna pass down to next generation. I'm gonna force my kids to watch this, right? adapt some of the mindset that you have, right?
Absolutely, right. We've been on here for almost 2 hours now, guys, and I want to just say thank you, Bill, for your story, for coming on here, man, being an inspiration to not only me and Daniel, but everybody else watching, right? Okay. I just want to say thank you, man, and I honestly give you props, man, for your mindset and for you kicking cancer's ass, because I hate cancer. Everybody hates freaking cancer, right? And everybody has somebody in their life that's gone through it, and it's probably one of the toughest things that you've done in your entire life, right? And for me to see you sit here after battling it 3 freaking times and kicking its ass, right? You are a true superhero, right? You're literally, I classify you as a freaking superhero, okay? You have inspiration, your determination, and your mindset is like nothing I've seen in the online space, okay? And that's why you're going to be so successful at this, right? And I'm so pumped with having you inside of our community, man. I just want to say thank you for telling your story, for having us be a part of your story, right? And even part of your life, right? So I want to say thank you. Daniel, do you have any last words before we?
No, I mean, just thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bill, for sharing with us your experience, right? And for people sitting on the sideline, right? Whatever you want to do, do it, okay? Today is the only day you have. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your life's going to pass you by before you know it, guys. If you want to take control and have the life you want, the only way that that's going to happen is by taking control of it. Stop allowing a company to control your time and your income.
Yeah, because tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Exactly. Right. I actually was just watching. I don't know how many of you guys watch. I don't watch very much TV, right? But I'm a big fan of Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory, right? And we just actually, in 2 days, we watched the last season of Young Sheldon, right? And I'm a big fan of it, right? But the last 2 episodes of the last season, sorry if you guys haven't watched it, but yeah, Sheldon's dad passed away, right? His dad passes away at the second last episode. And here me and my wife are sitting on the couch just bawling. We were just crying last night, right? The what hit me the most was you're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed. I could walk out the door today and fall dead, right? You got to take control of your life and live it how you want to live it, right? Because we're not, like you said, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Go out of this planet with no regrets, right? That's all I got to say. So, Bill, I want to say thank you for coming on here. I got a few things I got to get done. Daniel's got some things to get done, and so do you. I want to say thank you all. Those of you who are in our POP program, we have a live coaching program, live coaching tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And starting next week, we're doing a 12-week boot camp for your 10K in the next 90 days. So that starts next week, next Thursday, every Thursday for the next 12 weeks. We're going to be doing a 90-day boot camp showing you guys exactly step-by-step how to hit your next $10,000, okay? So I'm super excited about that one. If you guys want some information, hit me and Daniel up. Bill, you're already in POP, so you already got that, right? And I just want to say thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Bill, for coming on. And thank you, everybody who showed up here to support Bill and to support this live today. Next week, we will have Joe... What the heck is that? Vasquez. We'll have Joel Vasquez. He's actually a multi-millionaire. He's done $1 million with System.io, $1 million with ClickFunnels, and beyond, right? He's an ex-convict like me, ex-prisoner like me, right? Who turned his life around thanks to the online world, right? So thank you all for tuning in today, and we'll see you guys on the next Rise with Wealth Warriors. Have a great day.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.